Hi, my name is Marne. From this section on, we will be covering solution-focused brief therapy.
The techniques of solution-focused therapy involves things like looking for differences in the way of doing things, exception questions, scaling questions, and miracle questions. The belief is that solution-focused therapy should be flexible and that it should be tailored to the unique circumstances of each client. It's important for therapists to make use of the client's goals, perceptions, resources, and feedback to guide therapy sessions. Pre-therapy change, when the client made an appointment, it already sets positive change in motion. Therapists should elicit, evoke, and amplify what clients have done by way of making positive change.
The three main techniques of solution-focused brief therapy is exception questions, miracle questions, and scaling questions. The first one is exception questions. These questions focuses on the notion that the client should identify times where the present problem wasn't problematic. The second technique is also described as the main technique. This technique focuses on questions such as asking the client, if a miracle happened, how would the problem be solved and what would be different? This is effective because it allows the client to dream and it shows the client that his life is not dominated by this problem. Scaling questions is the last one. This is used when there is no clear or observable change in human behavior. For example, moods or feelings. This is normally done by using a scale of 0 to 10. It is effective because it shows the client that there was progress.
Formula first session task refers to a sort of homework the therapist gives the client that he or she needs to complete before the second session. So between the first and the second session. The task would be to observe certain behaviors or certain emotions and report back what they would like to see in the future. These homework tasks will allow the client to feel hopeful and to increase their optimism that change will occur, that it is inevitable, and that it is rather a question of when and not if.
With solution-focused therapy, it is important for the therapist to provide the client with feedback. This feedback should be composed in the form of a summary, and it should include strengths identified by the therapist, signs of hope, exceptions to the problem, and commentary of how the client is already doing. When a client starts therapy, the end goal should always be termination of the therapy process. But before that can happen, it is important for the therapist to assist the client with things they can continue to do to permanently maintain the changes. And it is also important to help identify hurdles and barriers. During group therapy, practitioners believe that people are competent, and when given the right climate, they can solve their own problems. The aim of these group sessions should thus be solutions.